Welcome back to Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. It's time to finally finish up this place by defeating the big boss himself. Not of Cypher entirely, but just of this place. So, the team that I'll be using here... I am actually a bit underleveled for this fight. Let me just quickly check if I have any rare candies. I don't seem to have any, okay. So, yeah, I'm underleveled for this one, and this is actually a very tough fight. In particular, this is your first taste of just how deadly boss Shadow Pokemon can be. This is, in my opinion, the first time that a boss Shadow Pokemon is actually a real threat. So, who am I leading with? I want to save Ricky for later in the fight, but, because he leads with something that's actually quite weak against Ricky, but also something else that's quite effective against Ricky, so... Let's see, I think I'll go with... Yeah, I'll probably go with these two, but I will definitely switch things up as things progress. I'll definitely want to get Ricky out of there early on. But anyway, let's do this. There he is. In a pretty cool room, too. And a nice close-up. Yep, every last one, even the optional ones. You know me, I'm thorough. So let's do this. He's finally here, performing for you, the third member of the CA crew. He's bigger, faster, and stronger too. And he has Laren and Celio. Now, his initial Pokemon don't seem all that impressive. They're Pokemon that evolve into things that are kind of impressive, but aren't that strong themselves. But that will change. Also, they're quite high level. So, he likes to protect with one of his Pokemon on the first turn. It's usually the Laren, so let's see what happens if I preempt that and go for a double target on the Celio. Okay, yeah, good, I was right. So, he's protecting the Laren. You can probably tell what's coming. But it's not going to be the theme of the entire fight. Gorigan kinda tries to be a mini Dakin, so he does use the Earthquake Protect strategy occasionally. But yeah, so Celio was going to use Earthquake there. I'm almost positive that it would have used it. But I do feel like Earthquake is not the main crux of his strategy. He has things other than that. Anyway, now he has Slowking. This Slowking doesn't have that many dangerous moves, but I believe it also has Earthquake, so watch out for that. So, now that Laren is not protected, now that Laren is protected last turn, it's probably not going to protect this turn, so I can probably systematically take it out now. And yeah, this is quite effective, so... Yeah, Laren's massive defense means that it'll survive, but it's going to go down to this Water Pulse. So yeah, solid tactics and out-predicting his Protect lets you get through his early Pokemon pretty quickly. This certainly didn't go this smoothly in practice, let me tell you that. And Ursaring. Hey, you're using a Pokemon that I'm using. And yeah, Water Pulse. So both of us are resistant to that, so this shouldn't be that impressive in terms of damage. I kind of feel like the Ursaring is the bigger threat here, so I'm gonna go for Crunch on you and then Mach Punch on you. That was a bad choice. That was a very bad choice. I had a feeling one of you was gonna protect, I just expected it to be the Slowking. So that's unfortunate. I forgot the Ursaring even had Protect. But a Slowking using Earthquake, I hope those aren't famous last words, it's probably not gonna... Yeah, it's not gonna do very much. Slowking is not the best physical attacker in the world, even though its pre-evolved form is actually a decent physical attacker by unevolved Pokemon standards, which is really bizarre. Okay, now I'm gonna go for the Ursaring. Because it's probably gonna do something dangerous if I leave it alone. This is the second Ursaring that went Mark Punching in the Cypher Key Lair. I thought you'd survive that barrage. This is probably going to be bad. Who's getting slashed? I probably need to retreat Ricky now. Or, actually, no, I probably will get a chance to. And you're going to knock out your own partner, aren't you? I can tell. Yes, you did. Nice one, Gorigan. But, now that I think about it, I need to get rid of that Slowking. Or it could crit me. Yeah. There is a reason I wanted to preserve Ricky for the Shadow Pokemon. That's because, while Lyra is my other status user, let's just say that sleep is not what you want in this fight, at all. Primate! Makes sense for this guy, he's pretty much a monkey man. And it is just Shadow Pokemon. It also looks horrible. Thank you, Stadium models. But, yeah. Let's go for Levitine here, and... Slowking is still present. Please don't protect. Nice, you didn't protect. So, this Slowking should hopefully go down this turn, because even though Primeape is probably going to move first, which it did, it's not going to one-shot Levitine, and so I can get my Shadow Ball off, although I'm not sure how much that's going to do. Slowking is more special defense oriented over physical defense, and now it's the perfect time. I'm going to send in Skaha here. Skaha's debut. Don't really care that Skaha's a little over level for this point, because I need it for this boss fight. But yeah, Shadow Ball should be doing a decent amount thanks to Slowking being more focused on special defense than physical. Glad you're gone, because I don't want to risk you earthquaking your partner. Thankfully, it's not nearly as bad as Dakin with Entei, but it's still kind of a problem. And Hypno, you can probably tell what this means. Yep, it's another Shadow Pokemon, although I personally feel that Hypno looks okay in this game. It's not as terrible looking as that Primeape. So, the reason why I wanted to keep Breloom around is that both of these Shadow Pokemon are immune to Sleep. So if you've been relying on Sleep moves to catch Shadow Pokemon, not going to work in this fight. And even though in later generations, both of them got moves that, well, not moves, got other abilities, their only abilities in Gen 3 are the ones that block Sleep. So there is no way these two will not be immune to Sleep. So I wanted to use Paralysis. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen. So I am going to have to debilitate them by spamming Icy Wind. So, both of these are very, very dangerous Pokemon, each for their own reasons. Primeape, you want to catch as fast as possible, because Primeape hits very, very hard, and it's very fast. The Hypno will generally just spam Shadow Storm. Shadow Storm is a new version of the multi-targeting special Shadow moves. This one has 95 base power, making it essentially a Shadow Surf. It doesn't get Stab, but a 95 base power move that hits both targets and always is super effective is nothing to sneeze at all. So, yeah, I want to... What do I do here? Maybe I should just quick attack the Hypno to get a little bit of damage on it. I'm so sorry, Levitine, but I think I'm going to have to sacrifice you here. Hypno's also very bulky, so that's another thing, but I will say it's a higher priority to catch the Primeape, because, like I said, Primeape is fast and it hits hard. I guess Orson's a little bulkier. Hypno can also be very dangerous if you're reduced to just one Pokemon, though, because Shadow Storm won't have its power shared if it's targeting only one target. So, Shadow Storm will suddenly start hitting very, very hard, because that's a 95 base power move that's always super effective. So, effectively, it's a 190 base power move. So, that's pretty painful. And even though Hypno's special attack isn't the greatest since Gen 1, it still hits kind of hard with special moves. Still going for Leftovers recovery here. Let's see, I want to just keep locking them down with the Icy Winds, and I don't want to crit that Primeape, so Orson, I'm just going to use an Ultra Ball. You definitely want to use Ultra Balls in this fight, especially on the Primeape, because, yeah, Primeape needs to get off the field now. One, two, three. Nope, I had a feeling that I'd failed to catch it at least once. And wow, I am still not outspeeding it with Dusclops. That should tell you something about how slow Dusclops is. Please don't faint to this Shadow Storm. That's not good. That is really not good. Yeah, so as you can see, I'm already down to just 2 Pokemon. This is a pretty brutal fight. In fact, if I'm not careful, I might actually lose this. Well, that's not going to help. I could go for Reflect. Singer's not going to do anything. I want that Primate gone. I really want that Primate gone. Timer Balls might not be a bad idea in this fight either, so let's see if I can grab this Primate. Come on. One. No. This is not looking good. At least I was able to get the Reflect up faster than it, thanks to those speed drops. But this really isn't looking good. Gorigan's AI I also find is kind of smart. Also, that is definitely me down to my last Pokemon. That's really, really bad, actually. I might need to use the Max Revive that I found in the Cypher Key Lair. Well, this is the Cypher Key Lair, but yeah, that I found in this area. This is going to be close. And yeah, I have no other choices. I need to revive now, because otherwise I am eating both a Shadow Rush and a full power Shadow Storm. So, yeah. It's probably better if I get the bulkiest Pokemon revive, but I'm going to revive you just so that I can try and paralyze something. And I'm forced to send it out immediately. This could go very, very, very badly. We'll oh, I forgot you also have Shadow Storm, or Shadow Shoryuken, basically. Are you using that because you know I have Reflect up? I mean, you're probably not, but yeah, Gorigan's AI can be kind of smart sometimes. And that hits surprisingly hard for a special move coming off of a physical attacker. Yeah, you can probably tell, this is why I said that you were feeling the true terror of Shadow Boss Pokemon here. I almost feel like I need to double heal here, but it wouldn't really do much good. I'm going to use your turn to use a Moo Moo Milk. And I desperately need to hit with this Sunspore. Good, okay. Thankfully, Primate doesn't have guts, so that's a good thing. Its fur is so pointy. But I really shouldn't be mocking it, otherwise I will be annihilated. That is with Reflect up. Yeah. And I'm now eating a full power Shadow Storm. Please don't critical and kill me or something like that, because that would be really annoying. It wasn't a critical, but, this is incredibly bad. I probably should have saved my Max Revive for now, come to think of it. I need to revive, and then I just need to hope desperately that what you go for is Shadow Rush on Ricky. Because if they double Shadow Storm, I'm probably screwed. I'm actually wondering which of you to use. I suppose I should go for one of the better defenses. This could be my first on-camera loss. Well, apart from Mirror B, but that doesn't really count because that's a fight that I couldn't have possibly won anyway. Okay, you're at least going for Shadow Storm. What's the Primate doing? Actually, the Primate could be fully paralyzed. If it is, that would be great. Although I still feel like there's still not a very high chance I'll win this, even with that, because... Okay, that's good, but... If I try and catch the Primate here and I catch it, I'm still getting hit by Shadow Storm and it'll be full power, and I'm gone. So, I have to revive here, and I'm probably going to be stuck in an endless loop of reviving at this point. I almost feel like Lyra's better special defense might be, like, a better thing to have here. Take the Shadow Storms better. I mean, I'm pretty sure Shadow Storm was special. I mean, we pretty much proved earlier that Shadow Wave was special. We get Trace activating again. Oh, this is making me extremely nervous. Ah, you hung in there, but if the Primate also goes for Shadow Storm, I'm not gonna like it. Okay, that was insanely lucky, and I've lost my Reflect. Okay, so, that's absurdly lucky. There are two things I need to do in this turn. The first is I need to heal you, because you're probably the best shot I have of hanging in there. And then I need to just hope that this Ultra Ball catches Primate, because that's the only way I'm winning this. Come on, Ultra Ball, catch me that Primate. I need the Primate down. 1, 2. No! Oh, that might have been, that might be game right there. Because this is definitely Lyra gone. Unless it's fully paralyzed 3 times in a row. Oh! That was nice, but it's probably not going to last. Yeah, that clutch survival is not really going to be helping me. Okay, how many revives do I have left? I've still got 3. I don't want to keep this up forever. Sooner or later, I'm going to have to bite the bullet and go for this, and I'm going to have to do it now. So, come on, please catch the Primate now. One, 2, 3. Primate get, but I'm not out of the woods yet. I could still very easily die to Shadow Storm. As weird as it may seem, Primate in Gen 3 was the fastest fighting-type Pokemon in the game. And as you'd expect from a fighting type, it's also quite strong. It is, however, very fragile. Primate isn't a very subtle Pokemon. It's about hitting things hard and fast, and not really all that much else. While it does have Shadow Storm on its starting moveset, I wouldn't recommend that so much because it is special-based. Shadow Rush will be doing quite a lot of damage though. Upon purification though, it'll regain Cross Chop, which is a great move, especially since the Shadow Makuhita in this game doesn't have it, unlike the one in Colosseum. Its XD exclusive move is Helping Hand, which admittedly isn't that great on a Pokemon that's frail, but it's still a great move in doubles. Focus Energy is, in my opinion, not worth it in Gen 3, and Reversal, without access to Endure, is really not all that great either. Primate doesn't really have all that many level up moves that are notable, and they all come after you're probably long done with the main story, so yeah. Screech and Thrash are there, but you probably won't get to use them. But Primate does have access to quite a few good TM moves. Bulk Up is nice, but I think it comes from Mount Battle. Focus Punch is also good if you predict right. Iron Tail, yes, Primate, a Pokemon without a tail, is compatible with the Iron Tail TM. Let's not question the logic there, but it's okay. Earthquake, though, is a great option. Rock Tomb is good for more coverage and debilitating the opponent. Aerial Ace for the same reasons. And I just listed Overheat here only because I find it hilarious that Primate can learn this. Fun fact, Primate also learns Thunderbolt. But Overheat I just feel is so fitting. Like, it's literally getting so angry it bursts into flames. And for TM moves, you've got the standard Body Slam and Double Edge again. Overall, while I'd say that if you're able to get Dewking's meta type early, it's probably a better fighting type, Primate is still a decent choice if you want a fighting Pokemon for your team. Like, this is really nerve-wracking because I know that a crit is going to spell disaster. No crit, that's good, that's very good, but now I'm worried because, yeah, this could be a problem. Something I should mention now, though, is if you're having trouble with these Shadow Pokemon, don't be afraid to simply... actually, let me just... Who do I want to send down here? Don't be afraid to intentionally knock out one of them and let it go to Mirror B. Because, yeah, admin Pokemon do go to Mirror B because, well, reasons that I'll get to eventually. But, yeah, don't be afraid to intentionally knock out one of them and let it go to Mirror B if you're having trouble, because... I mean, that's a valid strategy, too. Speaking of valid strat... Oh, holy crap, that's not good. Speaking of valid strategies... Like, I'm still really nervous here. Speaking of valid strategies... That Shadow Arbok that you can catch just before this fight... I actually didn't mean to do that. I meant to use, Stun Spore. That Shadow Arbok that you can catch right before this fight, Shadow Half is an amazing tool for catching multiple Shadow Pokemon. Sure, it halves the HP of all your Pokemon in the field too, but halving the HP of both opponents, and it's also a move that targets both of them, and you know that it can never possibly knock them out. It's a fantastic move for catching Shadow Pokemon. So I would highly recommend that as a tactic. It's part of why using Shadow Pokemon makes this considerably easier. Plus, as a Shadow Pokemon, you'll be resistant to their Shadow moves. So, this is definitely the point in the game where not using Shadow Pokemon like I am is actually starting to come back to bite me. Like I said earlier in the game, a better team for this game would probably be a team that has 4 non-Shadow Pokemon, and then 2 slots that are reserved for Shadow Pokemon that you sort of just rotate out throughout the game, with just the most recently caught and thus highest level Shadow Pokemon. That is the 3rd time we've traced Insomnia. You know, when I was practicing this fight, Shadow Storm crit me a lot, so I shouldn't have said that, but at least I did survive on 1 HP, so that's pretty amusing. Okay. 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 I'm gonna try an Ultra Ball. I'm also gonna need to restock my Pokeballs and my healing items after this. And, like, I know that, like, people might give me some flack for heal spamming here, but I am very underleveled for this fight. How many Moo Milks do I have left? Oh no, I've got plenty of them. And yeah, they hit extremely hard. So, come on, Hypno. 1. Nope. I mean, I love this music, but it's starting to make me very tense now. I mean, I know that I'm only prolonging things by using healing items, but I still feel like this is probably the most intense fight I've ever had in either Coliseum or XD. Like, both games. This is just a really, really close fight. Do I go for the not very effective Psychic? Probably should. Hypno has pretty good special defense. Come on, Hypno! 1, 2, 3. Hypno get! And with that, fight over. Hypno is, like Duskull, one of the few Shadow Pokemon that's XD exclusive moves is very notable for competitive play, so I will need to mention that here. Baton Pass is fantastic on Hypno. And while Hypno usually finds itself restricted to the lower tiers in competitive environments, it's usually been a very good Baton Passer there, especially in later generations where it gained access to nasty plots. But here in Gen 3, it can Baton Pass Calm Mind and even Meditate very well. So, definitely bear that in mind. If you happen to catch this Hypno with a good nature and IVs, keep it or trade it to someone who's into competitive battling, because it's actually very useful there. As a Pokemon in itself, Hypno is kind of weird. It's got great special defense and decent HP, but its other stats are fairly average all round. Despite being a Psychic type, Hypno's attack and special attack are equal, so it can use both physical and special moves. It also has access to boosting moves for both of them, Calm Mind for special and Meditate for physical, so you can really go in a variety of different directions with Hypno. It is the first major user of Shadow Storm as a Shadow Pokemon, which makes it pretty powerful initially. But as an offensive Psychic type, it's definitely outclassed by Espeon and Gardevoir in this game. So if you are using Hypno, you want to play to its strengths, and that is Calm Mind and or Meditate Baton Passing, and being able to go mixed. Speaking of mixed, this Hypno has both Psychic and Shadow Ball, which remember is physical in Gen 3, on its starting movesets. And as far as physical options go, it learns either Focus Punch or Brick Break via TM, and Body Slam and Double Edge from the Move Tutor. Sadly, Hypno doesn't have that many special options. It doesn't even get Thunderbolt, unlike some other Psychic types. But it does get some good support moves via both Level Up and TM. You might want to pay the move relearner for Hypnosis. Psych Up is kind of an okay option with Baton Passing too, but remember that you'll probably not get that during the main story because its level is a little too high. Via TM you have access to Reflect and Light Screen, and via Move Tutor you've got Thunder Wave, and if you want to combine with Hypnosis, you've got Dream Eater and Nightmare. Substitute also by Move Tutor is great for Baton Passing too. And since Hypno's offensive stats are fairly average, you could also go for Seismic Toss as your main form of damage. Overall, if you treat Hypno like Gardevoir or Espeon, you'll probably be disappointed. Instead, focus on its strengths, being able to use physical moves, its variety of boosting options, its tanking abilities, and especially baton passing. And by the way, that's a joke that I've wanted to use for years, actually, since long before I even thought I'd be doing this game. So, yeah, that was a brutal fight, and Gorigan's not finished. He's gonna explode the entire place, presumably with him on it. That's kinda dark for a Pokemon game. Shocking plot twist! You mean that mysterious old man from earlier in the game who had a unique model and was traveling with two unique model people who are very powerful and beat down a trainer for using Shadow Pokemon in public? You mean that he was the villain all along? I never would have guessed! Yeah, this is ridiculously obvious, but Mr. Verich was Greevil all along. And this is his real theme song. The funny thing is, I find Mr. Verich's normal theme sounding really weird. I'm more used to this version. That's not good. People in Gate and Port actually did mention this. And back then, they also mentioned that Mr. Verich's cruiser was the only thing that went to and from that island. Again, totally not obvious at all plot twist. Admittedly, though, I still like this more than Lysandra, but that's beside the point. So this is actually kind of interesting, I find, because Gorigan seems like he's more just the muscle of Cypher, but this proves that he's kind of like a technical engineer slash scientist too, so he's got both brains and brawn. He's not kidding at all. I can just say right now that approximately a third of all Shadow Pokemon in the game are on Citadark Isle. Yeah, I'm going to be having to make a lot of bios going forward. Yeah, that's going to take a while. And so there he goes, and Seth turns his head at a weird angle. But there is something he left behind on his desk. If we check this, it's a list of all the manufactured Shadow Pokemon. So we now have that on our P-Star DA. I personally don't like this very much. If you go into your Shadow Monitor, you can now see every single Shadow Pokemon that is left in the entire game. So once we go past Primeape and Hypno... So yeah, here are Shadow Pokemon that we haven't seen before. And as you can see, we're only slightly over halfway down the list, so that should tell you something. I'm not going to show this, because I don't want to spoil the Shadow Pokemon that are coming up in the future. But if you want to spoil yourself, you can look at the list now. But I will warn you, it will spoil everything. Every single Shadow Pokemon left in the game will be spoiled. It's kind of the inverse issue that I have with Colosseum's Shadow list, because in Colosseum, you didn't get the list until right at the end of the game, and it only showed one Shadow Pokemon that you wouldn't have already caught at that point, which was Metagross. So that one didn't show enough, but this one I feel shows far too much, and I feel it just spoils the surprise of a lot of the later Shadow Pokemon, so personally, I'm not going to read that. But if you want to, go ahead. So... we have no real leads on how to get to Citadark Isle, but the best place to check would probably be Gate and Port. I mean, that is the closest to Citadark Isle, and it is the place we heard rumours of there. It's also the place where we met Mr. Verich last, the previous 2 times. But first, the thieves have been robbed, which is interesting. What's been stolen? I wonder who those two were. Kind of funny that the other Mirror B peon wasn't with them. Last Shadow Pokemon that came off the production line before it shut down. Wonder what that is. It's a Dragonite. This line I find really interesting. The last authentic Shadow Pokemon. That seems to imply that some organization other than Cypher could potentially reverse engineer the process of making Shadow Pokemon and make their own, but that never really went anywhere. I don't know, I just find that line kind of interesting. Also, I guess that also makes the Shadow Dragonite the last first edition Shadow Pokemon, if we're going by trading card game terms. And so we say goodbye to this place. I still really love how this place looks. It's hard to describe why, but I just think this place looks really cool. Anyway, goodbye Cypher Key Lair. Soon, hello Citadark Isle. Which is called Nickel Dark Isle in Japanese. I'm not really sure what the significance of the nickel part is. I still remember back when this game was only released in Japan and people were always just calling it Nickel Dark Isle. Speaking of which, Greevil's Japanese name is Death Gold, which is possibly even more obviously evil and even more terrifying than Greevil is. But anyway. If we head here, it's kind of, I actually find this part of the game kind of interesting. Nothing in the game directly tells you to go here, but if you remember the Robo Kyogre from Kaminko's Manor, it was in the care of this guy now, and Dr. Kaminko said, we're scrapping the Robo Pokemon project entirely. Well, we need a way to sail the sea, and it just so happens that we might have one here. Robo Kyogre is finally completed. And what better way to travel than to travel the stormy seas than in a Kyogre-shaped ship? So yeah, hand-waving why planes couldn't get there. Wonder if Citadark Isle is like the Pokemon counterpart to the Bermuda Triangle. Though that's probably Mirage Island now I think about it. So it is time to prepare the Robo Kyogre for launch. Also, I just noticed a propeller in the, what looks like a fridge there, but it's obviously not a fridge. Also, we get an email from Crane here. Now, something kind of interesting that I found out during practice that I sadly won't get to show here. I'd forgotten about this email. If you go back to the Pokemon HQ lab and talk to Crane in person, he'll actually tell you this in person and you won't get this email. I feel like that's a nice touch. So yeah, he says the ground floor, but it's possible to go back to the lab before and talk to him, and he'll actually tell you, come back here and go to the ground floor, and I have something to tell you. For now, though, I don't think we're quite ready for this. Boarding the Robo Kyogre will take us to Citadark Isle, which is the final dungeon, though don't worry, the game is far from over. Citadark Isle is so huge that it's practically a third of the game all in itself. In some ways, it's a bit of a pacing issue, the fact that the final dungeon is this long, but in other ways, it's also pretty cool. Also, it's not a point of no return, you can go back just fine. I haven't healed, have I? Oh, I have, okay. But yeah, you can go back on the Robo Kyogre anytime you want, so you don't need to worry about being fully prepared. Also, you are fully behind the times, but there are a lot of other people here who actually do talk about new events that have occurred. But if we meet Professor Crane here... Remember that Jovi's random diary that we saw in Kaminko's Manor? Remember how it mentioned a secret room in the Pokemon HQ lab? This is that room. And what does it contain? Well, we're about to find out. Firstly, hi there. Wow, even he didn't know about it. This must be very secret. So, we have to wait for the slow NPC. But we have an item down here. We have a secret weapon that's been hidden away. 3 guesses what this is. Yeah, it's the Master Ball. And Crane is now going to leave. Again, slowly. So, also, 3 guesses as to what the game wants you to use that on. I'm going to specifically avoid that, though, because it is kind of cheap, and it means that you ruin a certain fight later on. Also, 46 Shadow Pokemon. Let me just say right now, there are a total of 83. I'll just let that sink in. So, yeah, we've got a lot of work to do on Citadark Isle. A lot of work. The game is very far from over. But let's go ahead and talk to Lily now. Well, it is going to be tougher, and I actually feel like I need to train a little bit because, yeah, my levels are a little low for this point. So yeah, it seems like we've completely destroyed any hope of them making any more Shadow Pokemon. But we still have to purify all of the remaining ones, and that's going to take some doing. Also, hi there. Well, we've already found out where it is. Also, there's some funny dialogue from this guy if you talk to him. You think that one of them would play the Pokemon, but no, Adon is just so much the slave to Jovi that he was a Pokeball. I've always loved that line, but it also makes me disturbed that Jovi, yeah, is abusing adults in that way. I feel so bad for Adon. Speaking of which, hi there, Jovi. Alright, speaking of Chobin, I think Chobin should be ready for a rematch at this point. You know what? That might actually be good training, and I kind of feel like that's not a bad idea to be trying that out now. In fact, I don't think I've shown Chobin my fully evolved team yet, so that might be a good thing to do. I am totally not trying to pan out this video's length or anything. I just felt like that I wanted to show all the optional Chobin fights, and I just said that I needed training, and it, you know, feels like now is the right time. Little late to that, Chobin. Little bit late there. Thing is, I doubt any kind of modification will make you better at Pokemon battling. Oh, and sadly you don't have the Cypher admin battle music anymore. But this is one of the last times we'll be hearing this music in the game, because it will be the Cypher Peon theme from pretty much now until the end. But yeah, this is kind of reminding me of Chuck when he either throws a boulder in the original game, or, wow, yeah, I am really underleveled. Okay, that was not Dragon Dance, I was worried for but that still looks kind of silly. But yeah, either throws a boulder or is under a waterfall, and it's like, what? That has nothing to do with Pokemon? I always love that line. Well, getting rid of the Gyarados is top priority. I don't know if I needed that critical or not. Gyarados has pretty good special defense. Also, would have expected more experience from a Gyarados, but oh well. I need all the training that I can get. You know, I just thought of something that I could do after this, too. It's still not a jump bluff, though. Congratulations, you have just sealed your fate with Fire Blast, even though Fire Blast would have one-shotted you anyway. I mean, you've both got Chlorophyll active now, but I doubt that's going to really help you, because... well, I mean, there's Leech Seed. Kind of wish Jumpluff could use that in Colosseum, but there is no move free learner, and the only Jumpluff you get has already passed up on learning Leech Seed, which is kind of a shame. But yeah, this fight is still not that hard, as long as you have an answer to Gyarados. Yeah, this Tropius will also be getting Chlorophyll, but it's not really going to matter that much. Almost. Kind of wish that was one of the psychic moves that had a chance of confusion, because then it would have been kind of funny if you'd carried yourself, but it seems like that will not be happening. Yeah, drain all you want, it's still not going to put you up to enough HP to survive. And yeah, that thing is fast because, chlorophyll. Don't paralyze me, please. I knew that would happen. But that Tropius has now been officially overkilled. That's always the problem with Sunny Day and Grass types. Leviathan was faster than Lyra? Really? But yeah, Sunny Day and Grass types is that while it does benefit their Solar Beam and often activates Chlorophyll, it also increases the power of one of their weaknesses. And so, the Robo-Groudon's upgrades were not enough. Guess Chobin was trying to avoid saying Chobin lost as much. Oh, actually, that's pretty great. I'd forgotten about that line. Yes, the long-awaited upgrade was a reclining back. You know, I'm going to go in and see if Dr. Kamiko says anything new. There are actually a few battle cities you can pick up in his bookshelves, but I'm saving those until the end of the game, when they're all accessible at once. Well, at least you're finally realizing the error of your ways. Robo-trainers, huh? You know what? I feel like they should have done that at some point in the series, but they really haven't. I mean, there's the Clembot in the anime, but other than that, I'm really not sure when they've done anything resembling that. I mean, I was thinking kind of I've forgotten the name, but the one that you fight in like, Essentia in the Looker quest. But, I mean, they're not really a robot, they're just in a suit that brainwashes them. So, what I was actually doing is, I wanted to see if there was any new moves available from the Move Tutor. I'm pretty sure there are now, so I wanted to go ahead and do that. And then I'll end this one off. I think I might actually go to Pyrite's Coliseum off-camera, because you can win the team of Brick Break there, and that's going to be good for Awesome. But anyway, let's see what we got here. No, I don't want Mimic. Okay, what do we got? We have Substitute, Body Slam, Double Edge. Okay. You don't have Self-Destruct yet. Self-Destruct is kind of the big one, but we do have Double Edge, and I have two possible choices for that. There is Awesome, but Return's probably already good enough. Oh, you can learn that. That's interesting. Laser's Hand is an option, but I think I'm kind of fine with my moveset as it is. Hey, actually, everyone can learn it. That's kind of funny. Fist Layer is also an option, but I'll have to think about it. I'll have to think about who gets Earthquake too, but with that out of the way, I think I'll end this part now, and next time I will be back here for, since I made sure to finish all of the side quests first, next stop is Citadark Isle. So, I'll see you then for the final, well, actually, it's going to be a long time before the final battles, because Citadark Isle is long, but yeah, see you then.